Eyup, cock, Birmingham have won the league. And naturally, as you would, if I were a Birmingham fan, I'd be gassed, mate. I'd be so giddy thinking about what's next. We're going to do an Ipswich, we're going to do the bounce. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with you, because I got this one bang on. A lot of people saying, like, oh, Birmingham are in for a shot when they come down to League One. No, they were always going to piss this league as soon as they set foot in it. And it's not because Birmingham are a big club, because there's a lot of big clubs in League One. It's because of the amount of money that you spend and how efficient you've been this year. So we're going to look at next season and roughly where I think you'll be. There's relegation, scrappy survival, mid-table, top half playoffs in Ipswich. And as video goes on, we're going to get to a certain level where I think that Birmingham will probably end up. Just straight off bat, though, we're going to get straight past relegation and we're going to get into scrappy survival straight away. Even if Birmingham didn't sign one player, not one, even if they lost a couple of these players, they would still go up and stay up. Probably fairly comfortable to the point where I'd say that this Birmingham team currently would probably finish mid-table anyway. If anybody says to you that Birmingham are going to... Oh, I've got one. If they're in for a shock, if they come out with default line again, don't listen to what they've got to say or have them a very, very heavy bet that Birmingham will not go down. Put your mortgage on it. Don't do that. This is not financial advice. Birmingham are well on the way to breaking points record. They will probably break 100 goals. I'll be very close to doing it. Which leads into the first segue. The obvious thing that people like to beat Birmingham with, stick with this season, is that you've bought league. And who actually cares? Who cares? You know, when people think about the best championship sides ever, people immediately go to Wolves when they had Ruben Neves and them sort of players. You think this is buying league? Should have seen what Wolves were doing in Championship that long ago. Wolves took the living piss in Championship when they got promoted with like 100 points or whatever they got. If they wouldn't have got promoted, they'd have been playing Rose and Crown and Dog and Duck. They'd have gone straight to pits of hell if they wouldn't have got promoted with admin and financial trouble they'd have been in. But nobody thinks about that. You just think, oh, that Wolves side were mint. So nobody's going to look back at this Birmingham side in a couple of years and be like, oh, well, they bought league. They spent this much trim and this much trim. They're going to look at it and think, well, Birmingham got 110 points. They've got points record across EFL. Nobody's ever going to break that points tally again. Who gives one flying pig how much money you've spent? Because I know for damn sure, right, I'm a Barnsley fan in case you didn't know, unfortunately. 6-2, I know, get it in there. If we had some owners come in with billions that are willing to spend 30 million quid in summer, I'd be going... Have that League One. So nobody can sit here and say, well, that's wrong. You shouldn't be buying league when everybody would welcome it in their own club right now. You've just got to get lucky with your owners these days, and Birmingham have. Lap it up. Enjoy it. It's not going to last forever, is it? But when you look at the signings that they have made, they've broke transfer record 3 times with Jay Stansfield, Clara, and Thor Williamson. This is an absurd amount of money to pay for Stansfield. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, the money side of things I don't care about. And I know you're paying for the future and stuff like this. But if he's worth this much money, I'm worth at least 2 million quid, at least. A lot of these are very good buys. Obviously, the wages are going to be heavy. I think if my sources are right, Stansfield either on 16 or 18 grand a week as a base, and it doubles when he gets a championship. So he's going to be on like an insane amount of money. But if you've got it, flaunt it. You know what I mean? Who cares? Get your tits out. Some of these are very good buys, though. Matt Leonard, I don't think he's been given a fair crack at whip, really, but that's mainly because of like Iwata and Pat being as good as they are. Matt Leonard, for this amount of money, is an absolute steal. Very good signing. Alfie May, obviously scored a lot of goals. Who were going to get you that easy. Iwata, really good buy. It's not a lot of money either. Cockroach is best left back in division easily. Very good player. And then further you go up, I mean, like this 4 I'm not overly convinced on. Stansfield's obviously a very good player for this division. But this Clara... Mate, 4 million euros is what he is one of the best players I've seen in this division, hands down, ever. Easily best centre back I think I've ever seen in this league. He is such a Rolls Royce. Nah, I don't think I've actually seen him sprint once. The only thing from my point of view that I thought Birmingham could maybe struggle with, like I said, I knew that everybody knew the win league. Anybody with half a brain knew they'd win league easily. But the only thing I thought could maybe halt them is the amount of experience to let go at once. Bearing in mind they come back with relegation, right? They've got a lot of new players coming in, and then to let go like Ruddy, Roberts, Gardner, Etheridge, Sunjic. They let a lot of players go that's been there for a lot of years at Birmingham. Oh, don't get me wrong, a lot of these were part of the problem and reason they got relegated in first place. But on back of relegation, letting a lot of experience go, we're a manager who's fairly young, at 40 as far as a manager goes, in his first managerial appointment with minimal experience. I did think that all those things partnered together would maybe the reason that Birmingham won't absolutely take the piss with it big time like they have done. Obviously, they would go up, but I didn't think they would run away with it to the point that they have done. And obviously that proved me wrong. Now, if we're going just purely on minutes, I'm not a tactician or an analyst at all, right? This is just very base level stuff. I'm going to be on this for 2 minutes, right? Based on pure minutes, this is what Birmingham have lined up a lot of time. They do line up like this on paper. Allsop at net, Laird and Cockroach, Davies and Clara, Pakinuatu at middle, 4 on right a lot at time, or down middle. Stansfield starts on left most at time and May up front. This number 10 position is one that's changed a lot. They've had like Dowell in there, Ickman. They've had a lot of different players. Force coming to right hand side a lot. It's very fluid. These attacking players behind May. But from what I see, a lot of times, Stansfield might start out here, but he comes in here. Cockroach comes up this left hand side a lot, and Pack will cover a lot of this left side, which does leave a watch on himself in middle a lot. And I feel like the goals that Birmingham have conceded, because they've got loads and loads of possession and they're pinning teams in their own box back here, which they're going to do because they're miles better than everybody. The goals that Birmingham concede, I think a lot of time, are on counters because Cockroach is so far up and they like to get a lot of bodies forward. Birmingham, they've pushed these four up a lot because Cockroach down left hand side, the fullback, puts a lot of very good crosses in. So it does feel like it's Iwata stood on himself a lot of time at middle at Park, which is something that I think they could maybe get exploited with a little bit in Championship against much better sides than they're in League One. This is not going to be the same 11 that lines up for Birmingham in August. When they're in the first game at Championship, at least 4 or 5 of this team is going to change, and rightfully so, depending on what Birmingham's ambitions are. Like straight off bat, I would say keeper needs to change. Davis is going to change, but that's going to be for that Phil Newman, who they've already got on a pre-contract anyway, who's going to be coming in. So that is going to change to that Phil Newman centre-back. Pakinuatu, very good midfielders. I think they could probably get away with it, depending on what they want to do. They might just have to change the structure a little bit and not commit as many men forward, but that get there when it comes to it, you know what I mean? I think 4 maybe has to change. Harris, or whether it is in this number 10 position, whether it is Dowell, they've got a lot of depth there, but it's not serious quality in probably your most important area on page from an attacking point of view, which I don't think is the strongest anyway from a Birmingham point of view. And then Stansfield and May, I think, are fine as starters. And again, you've got the depth there, and these two could drop to depth players anyway. But I think them 4 specifically are areas that definitely need to change. If Birmingham is serious on wanting to like maybe get in playoffs with the amount of money that they're going to spend, them 4 positions definitely need changing, I would say. And like I said with Iwata, if you look at his heat map for this season, it is absolutely all over the place. He's everywhere. A proper old school box-to-box midfielder. He's chipped in with goals. He's got 5 this season in League One. He's got some bangers and all. But then when you look at Park, who's his partner stood in middle, he's covering this left-hand side a lot. Iwata's covering centre, left, right. He's effectively everywhere. But I do feel like down the right-hand side, down here, is an area that they could maybe get exploited a little bit, because Laird's he's not scared, is he? He will bomb up as well, and I do feel like that is the only area that they could maybe get caught out on counter-attacks, either straight down middle or down the right-hand side that they've got. I do think structurally that they have to change a little bit, because I'm going to do a lot of comparing to Ipswich in a sec and the team that they got promoted with, and what this is the blueprint that you're trying to follow in it if you're a Birmingham fan. You want to do an Ipswich, effectively. You want to do bounce and go straight up. And I feel like you'll either not be able to commit as many men forward or not have as much possession and give up a little bit of that as well. Because when you look at like the stats for this season with Birmingham, they've got most possession in the league by an absolute mile. 67% at time of me recording this. 67. That is crazy how much at ball they've got. I do think as well, I'm going to compare this to Ipswich in a second. I do think this league is much weaker than a couple of years ago when Ipswich went up. Ipswich didn't even win league. We lost at Wembley. There were 5 or 6 very good teams in that league that year. This season, I think the standard of League One has been truly horrendous. And that's not a snide comment towards Birmingham, because the best side in division easily. And like I said, even if the season were to end right now and you can't buy any players, Birmingham would still easily survive in Championship with the current 11 that they've got in the current squad. But I do think if they are to succeed again and maybe get straight into playoffs or maybe top 2, whatever it is that Birmingham think they can do, you definitely have to let go a little bit of ball. Because I look at Ipswich, who literally were the best side. I think that is the best team I've ever seen Barnsley play in my life, right? And they had less than 60% possession all the time. That dropped massively to Championship. It dropped to just over 50. You've got to change and adapt at league that you're in if you want to succeed again. And again, I'm not saying this to have a bad comment towards Birmingham. Obviously, I'm making a video like effectively glorping the dick. But that Ipswich side that finished second, by the way, would honestly wipe floor with this Birmingham side. There's no reason for me to lie about this. Do you know what I mean? I've seen both these sides in person. I saw a lot of Ipswich when they got promoted. I've seen probably more of this Birmingham side than I did of Ipswich in first place. That Ipswich team is, even though they didn't win league, this Birmingham side could go and break points record. That Ipswich side is the best League One team I've ever seen by a mile, especially like post-January. And that was backed up by the fact that they changed and tweaked very little things. They maybe started 3 or 4 different players, same as what I'm expecting from Birmingham. Let go at ball a little bit more. Played a little bit more at counter-attack Ipswich. They still like to play on front foot and they still passed it out front back. Don't get me wrong, in Championship, and they got promoted by doing it. But not to the extent that they did in League One, which is what Birmingham are going to have to change as well. And especially from a goal-scoring point of view. Like I've just said, I think Ipswich were definitely a better side than this Birmingham one. Going forward. 100% going forward, Ipswich offered a lot more than Birmingham have done this year. And you can use the argument that teams camp in their own box against Birmingham. They did the exact same against Ipswich. It's not a new thing. A lot of these small sides in League One do the exact same thing against all the big sides. To be fair, that's why Barnsley struggle so much at home. Away from home, because we like to play on counter-attack and press high and stuff like that, we're really good away from home. But at home, when teams come and just camp in our box, we ain't got a clue how to break them down, and that's why we're so shit at home. Birmingham need to offer more going forward. Defensively, I think they are better than Ipswich were, 100%. I think the midfielders, from a defensive point of view, are better than what Ipswich's were. And especially when you add this Phil Newman here, with Clara, that is going to be like a top 6 centre-half partnership instantly. Straight away. So defensively, I'm not worried about them, and I think they'll be good from that point of view in Championship. I do think they will struggle scoring goals with the current lineup that they've got. I can't lie to you. Especially when you look at Ipswich in League One. They had Chaplin, who scored 26. Ladapo scored 17. Broadhead, Wes Burns, Hurst. They had a few different players who were putting goals in. But the main one is Chaplin and Ladapo. Them numbers dropped straight away. Like, Broadhead and Chaplin were still 2 of the top goal scorers. Ladapo they got rid of, who were deemed not good enough after getting 17 goals in League One. Wes Burns is still there with goals. Hurst still there. But they brought in the little bits of quality that they needed, especially post-January, which were Kiefer Moore, who got 7, and Amari Hutchinson got 10. You just need them little players, because you've still got the depth to come off bench anyway, like a Burns or a Hurst or a Broadhead. You've still got these players to come off bench, which is going to be like your May or a Stansfield. I know they spend a lot of money for Stansfield, but you can't just look at him as this golden boy that can do no wrong. He needs to be changed every now and again, definitely. You've got Williamson, Dowell. You've got a lot of very good depth. You need the little tweaks to start in 11, and from an attacking point of view, I think that is the weakest area that they've got on pitch, Birmingham. Even though they could still score 100 goals, you know what I mean? I'm not... I don't know why I need to keep explaining myself as if I'm not doing this video saying that I think they're going to do well anyway. But I do think the attacking positions is something that needs tweaking for Birmingham. And I'm not going to sit here and then say, oh, I think you should buy this guy, and this guy. But if Wickham don't go up, go and get Coney. Please, God, go and get Coney. He's going to top end at Championship anyway. He's got to be doing. When you think about the amount of money that they've got and the amount of money that they've spent in League One, you've got to say that they're probably going to spend another 30 million quid in Championship. It's a ridiculous sum for a side that hasn't even been in Premier League, but the owner has come out previously and said they've got the most money in EFL aside from teams with parachute payments anyway. So it's not really surprising they're going to go and drop a bag. It just depends how big that bag is. And when you look at state at top of this league anyway, Championship this year, you're looking at like Leeds, Burnley, Sheffield United have all got parachute payments and shitloads of money. Them 3 might be the ones that go up. Just immediately, if I'm looking at this league, I would say this Birmingham side, even now, we are spending money, are still better than like probably everybody up to about Norwich anyway. Straight up, I'll bring Birmingham top half even now before I think about the signings that they could make. Once you start getting to like a Millwall, I know Birmingham are looking at Millwall like this tiny little club, but Millwall have been sustained in Championship for a long time now. The building blocks and the core of the squad is very good, Millwall. So I think that's quite an iffy one. Then you start looking at sides that have got money then. West Brom, Middlesbrough, Coventry. Bristol City, not so much. Bristol City might be a good example to look at. Sunderland have got money and a very good core and a better team than Birmingham anyway. So also part of that with the fact that at least 2 of the sides coming down, I would say are going to be better than a majority of these sides anyway. Like Ipswich, say if it is Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton that come down, Ipswich are definitely going to be right up there. I expect Southampton to be up there as well. Leicester, not so much. Could see them being in and around a playoff picture, but not an automatic race. And then, as much as you might laugh at this, you're not going to be only promoted side from League One that's going to spend a lot of money. If it is Wrexham that comes up here, they've also got an obscene amount of money that people don't realise that they're going to spend on players. The amount of money that they're going to spend will probably rival Birmingham's. So it's one thing being a top half side, right? But breaking that chain and taking that step from being a top half side to getting playoffs is very, very difficult in Championship. You get teams that have like freak seasons like Luton or Barnsley a couple of years ago. You will have teams that do stuff like that. But then when you look at Bristol City, might do it this year, but Bristol City have been top half, top 12-ish forever and never done anything. Same as Preston, same as Millwall. Taking that leap above the Championship teams that are already there anyway is difficult enough. But then with the amount of money that is filtering down from Premier League and the top sides that Championship have got, trying to break into that group of lads is very difficult. However, and a lot of this is obviously just based on pure speculation and who they could sign. You never know how much money they're going to spend, what players they're going to bring in. They could all flop. But I feel like this Birmingham manager that they've got, even though he's inexperienced and it's his first job, he don't look daft, does he? Let's not take mick. He does not look daft. It was McKenna's first job in management at Ipswich, and look at what he's done. I don't think he's naive enough to go into this league thinking that he can play exact same way that he's done in League One. I think he's going to rotate his players a hell of a lot more. I think the players that Birmingham are going to bring in are going to be of a certain level that warrants top half Championship football, at least anyway. They're paying good money. They're going to get good players out of it. And with Championship being quite weak, apart from the top three have all just come down with money anyway, I don't think there are many sides in Championship that are better than Birmingham or what Birmingham could be. I think the only, off the top of my head, the only two, looking at next season, and say it's the top three that goes up, say if Leeds, Burnley, Sheffield United all leave this division this year, I think the only sides that could maintain something a little bit better than Birmingham going into next year is Sunderland and Coventry, just based on the amount of money that they've got and the quality and the amount that their players are worth is a lot. They could make humongous sales instantly in summer if they wanted to. I think them two are your real competition, plus the three that's come down, plus, as daft as it seems, maybe Wrexham. I don't think they're going to do an Ipswich. Let's put it that way. I don't think Birmingham are going to finish up here. I don't think they'll be in top two contention. Unless you're spending an obscene amount of money, you never know. But I don't think they'll be in top two contention just because of the amount of money that is in this league now at top end. The more I watch them, and the fact that I don't actually think I've seen Birmingham get out of first gear. Very rarely. They're so efficient. The main difference between them and Ipswich, and probably one of naiveties of McKenna in his first year with Ipswich, was that Birmingham will go 2-0 up and be very happy with 2-0 and be happy to retain possession, just keep ball, tire you out, pass it around opposition's final third until whistle goes and be happy with a 2-0. They're very efficient, like a well-oiled machine, this Birmingham side. Whereas Ipswich would go 2-0 up and then go for 3 and then go for 4 and then go for 5. They would not stop, which probably did lose them a couple of points, like defensively. I feel like there is different gears to this Birmingham side that we've not seen yet. I don't think we've seen them actually go through motions all that much, and they're going to win league with ease and probably break points record. So that's quite scary from a Championship point of view, that there's this side coming up that's going to spend loads more money that you've not even seen best of yet, that's still going to win league. It is quite worrying. I do think that the more that I see Birmingham and the more that I speak about them and the more that I compare them to teams that are already in Championship anyway and that are coming down, I do think Birmingham could go straight into playoffs. Like I said, I don't think they will be top two because I think Ipswich would annihilate you, to be fair. And then there's maybe a Sunderland or a Coventry or a Southampton if they make managerial appointment right and stuff like this. There's a lot of big money teams with a lot of big money players at top end of Championship. But I do see Birmingham at very least top half, but I could see them in playoffs in Championship next season. Whether they go up or not is a different thing, and we'll see what they do in summer and then in January transfer window. But I think Birmingham are onto something special here. I just wish we had these owners, man. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I think Birmingham will be a playoff team straight away in Championship. And it's been an absolute pleasure, you know, to talk about them in my League One predictions, saying that they'll win every single week. And very rarely did they let me down. Absolute pleasure, boys. Thank you as always for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did enjoy, please. It does help me out a lot. Birmingham, you know what? I'll be secretly rooting for you next year. I think you can do it. Good luck. Love you all. See you in a bit. Kiss.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.